Hi, for this video I'm going to give you an anti-post selection for the four classics, the 2000 and 1000 Guineas, the Epsom Oaks and the Epsom Derby. Now the first race I've looked at is the 2000 Guineas, and as we can see the anti-post betting seems to be dominated by the Aidan O'Brien and Patrick O'Brien clans. Indeed, they've got the first four in the betting. Now, I don't think there's a lot to choose between these sort of runners, and to be honest, I think the 1 mile division for the top horses is rather open this year. So I'm going to look a bit further down the line, and I thought Chindit ran pretty well, to be honest, at Newbury the other day, and showed good battling qualities, and will obviously get a mile, but was well beaten by St Mark's Basilica last year, who is favourite for the race. So while Chindit possibly could still improve, I think he's probably held by St Mark's Basilica. But the one I'm interested in is Master of the Seas. Now, I was pretty impressed by the way this one won at Newmarket in last week. There was some, really quickened, showed some good pace, and indeed the jockey was pretty bullish about the horse as well. When you look at this, is a Guineas horse. You only see the very good ones married quickly into the dip. When they hit the rising ground, they go, and that's what this fellow did. I think that's probably a big clue as to what they think of this horse. And at 10 to 1, 9 to 1, that's pretty fair each way value. He acts on the course, and I think this sort of test could really suit him. He's got a nice turn of foot at the end of the race. Yes, he was beaten in Maidan, he was beaten at the Curragh, but probably was obviously too free that day. But I think Master of the Sea is possibly underrated in the betting a bit, at a double figure price available, and I think is probably decent each way value at that sort of odds. So my first selection for the 2000 Guineas is Master of the Seas each way at 10 to 1. Now we shall go on to the 1000 Guineas, and this looks pretty cut and dried if you look at the betting for this Santa Barbara, and there's no doubt she was very impressive on her debut, the one and only race she's had. But you take a lot on trust, you're going by reputation, and a lot of these type horses can fall flat on their faces really until you maybe see a second run. So 15 to 8, there's no interest at all for anybody, I would have thought, at this stage. But if we go a bit further down, I thought Snow Lantern showed nice turn of foot, and for me, I think Connections obviously have a affiliation with this horse for the breeding. Obviously, they supplied the 1000 Guineas a few years ago with a sister, and I think there's definite possibilities here with this one. There's 8 to 1 available. There's a bit of each way at 8 to 1. I wouldn't put anybody off at all. She's definitely got a decent chance. And the other one I think has got a good each way chance as well is Indigo Girl. Now we've not seen Indigo Girl since last October, but she looked pretty good to me. I mean, there was she was a bit unlucky not to win at Newmarket. She's definitely going to be suited by a fast run 1 mile. She could even be a good middle distance horse up to 1.5 miles. And I think this if you can get some 20 to 1 each way, I think I think that's a decent bet, or even the the 12s. I think she's definitely a player for this race. So I've got a couple of selections for the 1,000 guineas. Snow Lantern each way at 8-1, and Indigo Girl each way if you can get the 20s. I still think 12s is probably a decent price too. So that's my selections for the 1,000 guineas. Now we shall go to the Oaks, and again Santa Barbara short price player Indigo Girl. I can definitely see that angle. That sort of price, 16-1. She's gonna stay. She's gonna stay for sure, and does have that nice bits of turn of foot, and I can see her going pretty well in that sort of race. Indeed, wouldn't surprise me if she'd won the 1,000 and won the Oaks. Connections obviously know a good horse, and this sort of price is good value in my view. And one a bit of a left field one I thought sort of caught my eye a little last week at Newbury was this Sea Karat. Now, the jockey totally mucked up getting the run, and it wasn't a very good effort in the saddle from James Doyle. But the trainer seemed to be very, very sweet on this horse, and there's definitely a lot of ability there. She was unlucky not to win at Newbury. There's no doubt about that. But 10 furlongs, she was really finding a stride at the end of the race, and at 40-1, there's plenty of juice in that price. I think this is a filly of big talent. I think we could hear a lot about her, and I think at this stage, those sort of odds are something that we could quite happily get stuck into, and hopefully see an improved filly next time out. So my two selections for the Oaks are Sea Karats at 40s, and one of our selections for the 1,000 Indigo Girl at 16s. Now the final race I'm going to look at is the Epsom Derby. And I was pretty impressed with this high definition, I have to say. He's a short price at 72, but I can definitely see why. I mean, he's got all the attributes of one that's going to stay this distance. He absolutely eats up the ground. He's got a long stride, and 72 is not turning anything. There's no value in that at this stage, but it wouldn't surprise me if he won the Oaks. I think won the Derby. Sorry, it wouldn't surprise me at all, and I think he's probably the one that the rest have to beat. Of the rest, I thought Uncle Bryn might be interesting. There was a lot to like about his 2 runs on the all-weather, and connections, are not frightened to put a good one on the all-weather, and I thought there was plenty to like about those 2 runs. And I think at 20s, there's probably obviously a lot more juice in that sort of price, and I think at this stage, he would be my selection for an anti-post bet at these odds. So I think in summing up, high definition is probably one to beat at 72. There's no value in that price, but I could see him winning for sure. I think there's definitely strong chances there. But the one each way, I think, is this Uncle Bryn. I think there's definitely a lot to like, and it will stay the distance, and with top connections, I think there's every chance he's going to make it on the day, and he's going to be a bit shorter than this price of 20-1 if he does. Right, so those are my 4 anti-post selections. Obviously we've got a few to look forward to in the next few weeks and months, and hopefully one or two of those can hit the board and even get past the post in first place. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.